Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Today's shiur should be the Zchus Rafu Shlema Meshulam ben Sar Rachel and Rechama Rivka Bas Rachel, and as well as Menachem ben Yisrael Yaakov, Leili Nishmas Menachem ben Yisrael Yaakov. Yesterday, we finished off with Rav Av. We're talking about Bitachon when others ask us for assistance, and we finished off over there that just as much we have to have bitachon when we reach out to others to help us, we also have to, as the person that's helping others, we also have to have bitachon in Hashem that when we promise someone we'll do something, that Hashem should help us, that we should actually be able to fulfill that deed. And it's a mitzvah, right? So you want to ask Hashem, you should be able to fulfill that mitzvah. So at the very end, I want to make one point over there. At the very end, we spoke that if someone does not succeed in the help that they promised someone, that they do have to explain to the person that they did everything they can in their power in order to fulfill their request. And at the end of the day, the same way we believe that the Hishtadlis is one part and Hashem takes care of the rest, it goes the other way around as well. When we're being asked for the favor and we don't come through on it, not because we don't want to, but we put our best foot forward and it just didn't happen, we have to understand, as the person giving the help and the person who's receiving the assistance, that at the end of the day, it's still up to Hashem whether or not this person deserves to get this help and also deserves to get it through the person he asked. There's two different parts to that. So the Rav Av says over there in the end, in the cliff notes, he said, you should be very leery, you shouldn't blame yourself. If you're the person helping, you shouldn't start blaming yourself because, I couldn't come through on this, and I'm not capable. Even when you're doing it for yourself, when you do your own ishtadlus, in your own work, that you shouldn't. If you fail, you shouldn't say like, I'm just not good at this. I'm done. I'm just not good. But he said it's a practical reason for that. The practical reason for that is because what's going to happen is we're going to demoralize ourselves, and we're not going to want to do things anymore. We're not going to want to help others when we fail in helping others. We're not going to want to do things for ourselves when we fail. And like the old adage, try and fail, but never fail to try. And what the Rav Av is trying to point out over here is that don't be down on yourself because you failed. It's not you. Hashem gave you a test, just like everything else we learned till now. When you help others, or you're helping yourself, or you're being asked of help, it's always all these things are different tests. All these things are different requests that whether or not you'll be the right shaliach or not. And so I want to finish off that part with this. Now, we're coming to the tail end, actually, of the first three of the categories of Bitachon, because remember we started this Perek Daled, there's 7 categories. We're coming to the last part of the first 3. The last part of this is Bitachon, we're dealing with adversaries. And we all know that throughout our lifetime, and maybe even regularly, we have to deal with adversaries. And adversaries can be an enemy, it could be, we want to say it that way, but negativity, right? We deal with different things. And so let's talk about this for a minute. As for Bitachon in regard to dealing with one's enemies, or people who are jealous of him, or those who seek his harm, the correct approach to this, the correct way to have the Bitachon is, Yiftach b'nyaneim al habari yis'aleh. In regards to all their matters, should rely on the protection of Hashem. V'yisbol cherpasam, he should tolerate their insults. He should tolerate it. V'al yigbal lahem b'fa'alam, and not repay them in kind. Don't do revenge, right? We all know that Nakama is not allowed. Ach yigmalem chesed. Instead, he should repay them with kindness. We'll talk about that in a minute. V'yaseh lahem kol ma sheyochal la'soisoi min ha'toif, and do for them any good that you can. And reminding himself that it's the benefit or the harm are solely in the hands of Hashem. Again, we're going back to this. The outcome of this person being able to insult you, to hurt you, was because Hashem instructed this person to do so. We have to believe this. The aspect of someone being a shaliach from Hashem, it goes in every single aspect of our lives. It's not just when we get help, it goes the other way around too. We mentioned this on Friday. Negatively, something who gives you a patch is also a shaliach. The person who gave it to you is also a reason why he gave it to you. When somebody helps you, they're shliach, and there's a reason why Hashem gave them the opportunity to do that mitzvah. And so the Rav Av is describing a form of conduct over here, of not only that you should be nice about it, but you should react in kind to the person about it. So he says that it's not easily attained, this type of personality. Obviously, we're human beings. But he says the Torah doesn't demand of us these type of characteristics. Why? Because it's almost nearly impossible unless you're in a super high madrega, like we'll see David HaMelech. But the Torah does say that we can't take revenge. We can't do nekama. That the Torah does say. So he's going to dig a little deep over here, and he says, while the Torah does forbid revenge, nekama, it does not expect everyone to react kindly to an insult. So he says, if someone insults you, if you remain silent, if you don't respond to the person, you literally just don't respond, that already is part of your kapara. Let's think about this for a second. Why are we being insulted? Why is a person coming to us? Why did Hashem send somebody to give us this patch? There's a reason for it. You deserve this patch. You have to do you're digging it deeper into your own soul and figure out why that is so. But you deserve this. And so just the same way you think to Hashem when you ask somebody for help and they come through for you, that Hashem, I deserve this help and therefore Hashem gave it to me. The same way when you get a patch from somebody and someone insults you, someone does wrong by you, we have to understand it's the same way. It doesn't all of a sudden become not Hashem. Hashem is not only there for the good, Hashem is there for the bad parts also, which are to your taiva. Sometimes it's a punishment for something that we did wrong. But at the end of the day, all those different parts of it, all shlichim from Hashem, and it's all because Hashem decided that's the way it's supposed to be, and that's the way it's going to happen. David HaMelech, it says, David HaMelech attained this level of this trait of being able to smile in the face of evil, of someone trying to hurt him. See, by David HaMelech, it says over there that when he was faced with trials and tribulations from his enemies, he dug very, very deep to try to figure out why Hashem did this to him. Even more, when he found out that his enemies were not well, he would put on a sackcloth and he would daven for his enemies. Why? Because he knew, and obviously it's a very different madrega, but he knew that this is Hashem's will. Hashem's will is to hurt him. But why? Because he did something wrong. And the only reason that someone seeking to hurt him, whether emotionally or physically, is because he deserves it. The Sefer HaChinuch talks about this concept, and explains that the attitude of Bitachon described by the Chavos HaVavos is the basis that you can't take revenge. But a person must firmly believe that whatever happens to him, whether it's good or bad, was decreed by Hashem. You see over here, Sefer HaChinuch brings over here a story. There was a tzaddik that somebody once came to him and yelled at him and screamed at him and ba'avled him. So the Talmidim went to the tzaddik and told him, he goes, it is a mitzvah for you to curse this person and to send him out and make sure that he doesn't do it again. And the tzaddik responded very, very, very with one line. He said, just the opposite. Quite frankly, the reason that I should be yelling at him is the complete opposite of what you think. I should be thanking him. Obviously, there was something that I did wrong, and Hashem is sending me a message that I have to go ahead and do and be mechaper on that. I just don't know what it is. He says, but it's not the same way what you think. We do understand, though, and we spoke about this also last week, the same way someone has to be roy to do a mitzvah and to help somebody, to be the shaliach and get that mitzvah of tzedakah or help or whatever it is. The Chavos HaVavos also says that a person who does evil by you, because again, you deserved it, for whatever reason, Hashem wanted you to get it, it also, Hashem did it through somebody who was guilty of something else. And therefore Hashem made it done through him and not through somebody who, again, Hashem is not going to make someone do something bad to you if they're not the kind of person that deserve to do something bad. They keep themselves more stringent, more holy. And so, in closing of the first three of the categories of Bitachon, And he says over here, Atzma masav beroya hagid masav etzel elikav. And he should suspect himself and his deeds, meaning the wrongful things that he previously did before Hashem. He should start thinking about what he did wrong, and he should start thinking positive. That he should start thinking, okay, I did something wrong, what can I do to fix it? That's what his mindset should be. Either way, if one of his enemies, he should implore Hashem and ask him to atone for his sins. So if you have enemies and people are out there to get you, there's a reason for it. So you have to dig deep in yourself, not to daven to Hashem, take them away. No, dig to obviously do that too, but dig deep and try to figure out what did you do wrong so that Hashem is trying to punish you. Kamoisha Amar HaChacham. HaChacham said, the Shlomo HaMelech said, B'tzois Hashem dachi ish gam oivav yashtem itay. When Hashem favors a man's ways, even his foes will take peace with him. That at the end of the day, that if somebody has gripe with other people, that gripe cannot come out to be anything against him if that person has no sins. And so the biggest work that we have to do every single day, and part of Bitachon and part of that work, is that we actually have to be careful. We spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. We can't just say I have Bitachon and then do Averos. We have to be very, very mindful of how we act on a daily basis. We have to be mindful that we should make sure that Hashem, when we do have Bitachon, that Hashem says, yes, you're worthy of that and you deserve good in your life. I thank you all so much for joining me today, and I love you all.